Welcome to Techie Treks. Today we delve into the $850 million failure of the AI textbooks project in South Korea. In 2025, South Korea embarked on an ambitious experiment, using digital textbooks powered by artificial intelligence. The goal? To personalize learning, reduce inequality, lighten teacher workloads, and modernize classrooms. Yet in less than a semester, the experiment collapsed and the project failed badly. Today we examine what went wrong, and what this dramatic rollback tells us about the dangers of rushing AI into education. 1. The promise of AI textbooks. The AI textbook program was among the flagship education reforms of the previous administration. Under the plan, students would replace traditional printed textbooks for certain subjects, maths, English, and computer science, with digital, AI-enhanced textbooks. These would adapt to each student's level, theoretically supporting weaker students, reducing the need for expensive private tutoring, known in South Korea as hagwon, and easing teacher workloads. Public funding was substantial. The government allocated more than 1.2 trillion won, approximately equals $850 million United States dollars, for the program, including equipment and teacher training. Publishers themselves reportedly invested another 800 billion won in developing the materials. At first glance, it seemed promising, a bold step toward modernization and educational equality. 2. Realities on the ground, glitches, inefficiency and disappointment. Yet when the textbooks rolled out in March 2025, problems emerged almost immediately. Many students reported that classes were delayed due to technical issues. Others found the materials confusing, unhelpful, or not tailored to their actual learning level. One high school junior from Jeju Island said he struggled to stay focused working individually on a laptop. The textbooks failed to deliver on their promise of personalized learning. Teachers and parents also voiced concern. The AI textbooks reportedly contained factual inaccuracies, and the increased screen time raised worries about data privacy, students' health, and declining literacy or communication skills. Rather than reducing teacher workload, many educators said their work actually increased, monitoring students, troubleshooting technical issues, and compensating for poor content quality. Overall, instead of being a smooth transition to a digital future, the rollout placed new burdens on students and teachers, while delivering questionable educational value. 3. Reaction, legal challenges, political upheaval and policy reversal. Unsurprisingly, backlash followed. Teachers' unions and civic parent advocacy groups filed lawsuits, arguing that the mandatory adoption was imposed without proper consultation or safeguards, exposing children to privacy risks and overexposure to screens. At the same time, political changes accelerated the program's downfall. The president who championed the plan was impeached and removed from office. Under the new government, the textbooks lost their official status. In August 2025, the National Assembly passed a bill redefining textbooks to exclude learning support software using intelligent information technology. AI-powered textbooks were reclassified as optional supplementary materials, rather than official textbooks. As a result, funding and legal support evaporated. This made things even more complex. Schools were left to decide on their own whether to use them. Adoption dropped from around 37% during the first semester to roughly 19 to 20%. Publishers, many of which had invested heavily, now face financial losses. Some have announced lawsuits against the government for damages caused by the abrupt policy shift. 4. What went wrong? Key failures and lessons. So why did this project fail so spectacularly? Rushed development and implementation. Traditional textbooks in South Korea take 18 months to develop, 9 months for review, and 6 months for preparation. By contrast, the AI textbooks were developed in roughly 12 months, reviewed in 3, and prepared in just 3, a drastic compression of established standards. Lack of pilot testing or safeguards. The intervention was implemented nationwide from the outset, rather than first piloting in a small sample to evaluate effectiveness. Experts argue AI-based educational tools should start as optional homework, practice aids before being rolled out in live classrooms. Underestimating human and institutional complexity. Education is not just about information delivery. It involves pedagogy, human interaction, context, feedback, and trust. Replacing this with algorithm-driven textbooks ignores the social and emotional aspects of teaching and fails to account for practical challenges, device access, student motivation, teacher readiness, data privacy, etc. Policy instability and political risk. The sudden change of government, legal redefinition of textbook, and abrupt withdrawal of official support highlight how vulnerable tech-driven reforms are when tied to political cycles. Data and privacy concerns. The original rationale included collecting standardized data on usage and performance. But with the reclassification of AI textbooks, data centralization and governance were compromised, undermining the original long-term ambition of building a national AI education infrastructure. 5. Broader implications. What this means for AI in education. The South Korea case is more than a failed national experiment. It's a cautionary tale for any country or institution considering AI-powered learning at scale. Technology does not equal pedagogy. Digital tools may assist, but they can't replace careful curriculum design, professional educators, and human oversight, especially when it comes to young students. Need for pilot testing and long-term evaluation. AI interventions should be trialed on small voluntary basis first, with robust evaluation metrics and safeguards before scaling. Ethical, privacy and equity considerations. Increased screen time, student data, unequal access to devices, and variable support, all must be addressed before AI becomes a central part of public education. Policy stability matters. Tech-driven reforms tied to political agendas must be insulated from political instability, otherwise, they risk collapse and wasted public and private investment. Transparency and stakeholder involvement. Teachers, parents, and students must be consulted, trained, and supported throughout, not presented with top-down mandates. Conclusion. South Korea's AI textbook experiment began with ambition to leverage cutting-edge AI for better, fairer, more personalized education. But within a few months, technical flaws, poor planning, institutional resistance, and political upheaval turned it into a cautionary tale. If we want AI to support education, rather than undermine it, we must proceed with humility, patience, and respect for the complexity of learning. Artificial intelligence is a tool, not a shortcut. Thank you for watching. If you found this video insightful, please like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know, do you think AI has a future in education, or is this experiment proof that some things are better left human?